Hey guys, it's obviously your social sciences teacher, Sir Aluwani. Now, with the given circumstances, we had to find a new way to teach you while you are at home. Now, what I've decided to do is do a PowerPoint presentation videos for you and post them on the WhatsApp group that I've created yesterday. Now, this is what's happening. I've created two videos, understand? One for the history work and one for the geography work. Now, when it comes to history, obviously, we have started our history for term 2 in term 1. Now, I remember you guys when I was busy starting with term 2 history, we were like, no, we're done. Let's wait for term 2 to start. Well, this is it. Term 2 has started, and now you'll be starting off today. I know that you're supposed to be starting off tomorrow, but it is what it is. With the given situation, we need to be proactive, and we have actually too many activities to do. I'll start by giving you off about two activities per day. If the activity is too long, I'll give you one. But if the activities are short, then I'll give you two per day. So by Monday or Tuesday, we can start with the geography part of social sciences. Now, let's get down to business. Mm, Remember the last time you saw me, we spoke about the unintended consequences of the Cold War. Now, unintended in the sense that, look, they were trying to develop nuclear weapons or nuclear bombs. To such an extent that they deviated from developing bombs into developing rockets that were designed to go into space. Now they started what was known as the space race. Let's see which is the first country, or which is the first nation, or which is the first group to get to space. Understand? Which of us will actually develop a rocket that will actually reach space or reach the moon. Now, this is how it started. Remember that we discussed the Bay of Pigs invasion in Cuba by the USA. Understand? The USA tried to attack Cuba for Cuba being a communist. Understand? Remember that when Che overthrew General Batista, a new way of doing business started. They moved from being a capitalist system and nationalized everything and became a communist system. Now, USSR, the Russians, were actually communist long before that, understand? So they saw Cuba as the perfect ally. Why? Because both are communist. The second part is now Cuba is close to Miami, next to the USA. Now, they haven't developed these long range weapons yet, so it's better for them to actually station in Cuba. So if, well, yeah, sure, man, they start fighting, they will shoot their missiles from Cuba into the Americans directly. Now, because the Americans already had a base in Turkey where they can just shoot missiles straight into Russia. Understand? So, but at the end of the day, they just decided, nah, no, we are not going to be fighting the Americans, because the Americans now agree that we are not going to be attacking Cuba. It makes sense that we move out of Cuba, understand? So generally the USSR took its weapons out of Cuba and went back to the USSR nations in Russia. Understand? But they were not satisfied. They were not happy. They were still thinking, no, we do not trust these Americans. What if these Americans shoot a missile at us from Turkey? But then they started developing long range missiles, long range ballistic nuclear weapons. Now, when they're busy developing these weapons, these unintended consequences started meaning that instead of developing a rocket that will shoot first vertically and then horizontal and then into the USA, what do? They develop a rocket that shoots straight from the bottom vertically into space. Understand? That's when the space race actually started. The Americans saw the same thing. Instead of us shooting at Russia, let's just develop something that will get into space. Since they were spying on each other anyway, they knew that the other one is developing a space rocket. Let's just us develop a space rocket too. You understand? That's how the space race started. And then who got to space first? Obviously, the Russians first sent a dog into space, or attempted to send a dog into space. But the dog overheated, died. Imagine if this was a human being. You overheat and you die in an attempt to get into space. Well, but let's not worry about that, because anyway, later on, they send real men, not a dog, a human being, to space. Now, page 157, you'll see that this man there, Gr11, was the first man that went to space. Not the moon, the space, children. Understand? Now, there were a lot of hidden missions, understand, that failed. Now, Russia did this. If they launched a rocket into space and then the rocket failed, they never actually came with videos showing that here's our rocket, it failed. No, there were hidden missions, understand. When they failed, they just kept quiet and left it at that. I guess the Americans did the same thing, because if they tried to launch a rocket and it failed, they never really publicized that our rocket has failed. Look, understand? That's how it was. It was the Cold War, and that was the nature of the Cold War. Now, with that said, let me remind you that we stopped at 1957 to 1961 in your timeline. Please, 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 kids, continue with the timeline, because the next time I see you, I will check the timeline, understand? I will check the timeline. That timeline is important for you to understand the history. But back to the basics now, with the USSR getting to space first. Now the USA started being jealous. What do? They try their best to get into space, understand? Now, when this is happening, well, remember that space race is actually a side race, understand? It's something that's happening in the side. It's not the main event. The main event is us actually developing weapons to kill each other. That's when the term MAD came into the picture. Now, MAD stands for mutual assured destruction. Now, mutual means the same thing that's happening to me is also happening to you. If we are mutual friends, it means one of our friends is actually a friend to the both of us. Now, mutual meaning that whatever happened in USSR can also happen in the USA. Now, mutual assured destruction meaning that if we shoot each other with these weapons, we will both kill each other. You guessed it. Understand? Mutual assured destruction, MAD, MAD. Now, that question might just pop out in an exam, in a class test. You will never know. Just understand those two. Now, with that happening, remember that the Yalta Conference in 1945, February 1945, before the end of the war, before even Adolf Hitler died, they had a meeting. What was this meeting about? Now, they wanted to discuss that after we win the war, what should actually happen. Understand? Now, they divided that we are going to divide these Axis countries among the allied countries. Understand? We're going to defeat this beast, and then each of us is going to take a piece of this beast. Now, everyone took the land which they wanted, especially the Russians. The Russians just stopped dead in the middle of the war and started taking land. Understand? Now, obviously, the British and the Americans were not happy, but now Germany was the star land. Everyone wanted Germany. Understand? We couldn't divide Germany by just taking it and give it to one of the allied countries. So they decided we are going to divide Germany into two. Understand? We're going to divide it to East Germany and West Germany. The west part of Germany would belong to the USA, and the British actually would belong to the Western countries. Understand? In modern day language. And then the Eastern countries will actually will be taken by the USSR headquartered by the Russians, understand? Now, they had an intertwined economic zone, meaning that we have both capitalist and communist economies interacting in one space in Germany, in the east of Germany and the west of Germany. Now, it sounds good that we have both systems, but the capitalist system thrived, meaning that it was better than the communist system at the time. The capitalist system actually developed much better than the east counterpart of Germany, which were owned by the USSR, headed by the Russians. Now, the Russians are not happy by this. The USSR is actually not thrilled, understand? Because the Western counterpart is developing while they are not. Now, this is what was happening. People moved from East Germany to West Germany to see their friends and watch movies and actually spend their money in West Germany. While the Western Germany only came to East Germany to see their friends and family. They were not concerned about growing the economy in the east of Germany. Now, this angered the USSR, understand, that it needed to divide Berlin itself, Berlin being the headquarters of Germany. Now, they decided now we're going to take the west wing of Berlin, that is the USS. There's the USA deciding we are going to take the east wing of Berlin, we are going to take the west wing of Berlin, and then obviously the other wing which is left, which is the east of Germany, the USSR will take that part. Understand? Now, how was this Berlin divided? Now, initially they put soldiers in the middle of Berlin. We're going to divide it like this. We're going to put soldiers, we're going to put tanks here. So anyone who tries to cross from the east to the west, or anyone who tries to cross from the west to the east is going to get shot, and then we're going to take it back. Understand? Now, with soldiers being there, with tanks being there, people were brutally assaulted, people were shot. It was chaos. Understand? It was not working for both of them. Understand? So they decided now we're gonna build a wall, and they named this wall the Wall of Berlin. They divided Berlin, the capital city of Germany, in half, or more or less half, by a wall. Now, if your family was living on the other side of Germany, which was East Germany, and your other members of the families were living in West Germany, now you wouldn't meet. Understand? That was the end of it. For a very long time, that was the end of things. Now, let's look at the map, page 160, showing the division of Western Germany and Eastern Germany. I hope you have your textbook with you there. Understand? If you look at those divisions, obviously the white part is West Germany, and then the red part is East Germany. East Germany belonged to the USSR, and then West Germany belonged to the Western countries. In other words, no, I'm not going to tell you what he means. Understand? You need to go and find out for yourself. That's part of learning. I need to train your brain to go and find information and come and explain it to me. Because if I told you what he means, then there wouldn't be a need for a test or testing your brain how it works. Understand? See you in the June exam. I'll see you in the final year exam. Now, 1985, things changed. Now, the USSR has new leadership by the name of Mikhail Gorbachev, page 168. Understand, this man comes with these new reform policies. Understand, he names or terms this policy perestroika. Now, this simply means that we are reforming our economy from being communistic system to being capitalist. We want this intertwined economy again. All the Americans, meaning the USA, agree with him. Now, a special man, well, in history, especially in history anyway, by the name of George W. Bush Sr. is the father to George W. Bush Jr. Well, George W. Bush Jr. is quite popular in modern politics. But anyway, let's turn to page 165 and look at that man there. Now, he declares that in 1989, the Cold War is over, it's finished, guys. So we are not fighting over ideas anymore. Now we're friends again. Now, the Berlin Wall falls in November of 1989. Let's look at page 164. Understand? Now everyone is celebrating from West Germany, from East Germany. They're trying to bring the war. Now we're gonna see our relatives again after a very long time of not seeing each other. Now let's look at the crowd there with sledgehammers destroying the walls. People are on top of the wall. Man, it's fun again. Understand? Now with that said, I think we are done with the history for term 2. Understand? I'll see you on the next PowerPoint video presentation, which will be about geography. Remember, I'll try to make this as soon as possible next week, Monday, or next week Tuesday. In the meantime, you'll be getting 2 or 1 activities to do a day. Thank you.